How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Today I want to talk to you about a big problem and a crypto that can solve it. So we have seen the metaverse blow up recently. We've seen that a lot of people are excited about metaverse after Facebook jumped in, but they realize that not everyone's going to go flee to Facebook. They might want a decentralized metaverse where they can actually make money instead of someone making money off of them. And there's another industry that has a ton of power that we don't even think about anymore that I want to talk to you about here today, because crypto can help solve the issue that it brings about. And this crypto that I'm talking about today, there's information linked to it underneath the video. They're also doing an airdrop. I've seen that several different places that they are going to do an airdrop in February. So what I would suggest is just go to the website underneath the video, get acquainted with it. They will have a white list in the future, but just have it on your radar so that way when they do give away free tokens, you can be part of that if you're in an area that can be part of that. I'm also going to include the link to how this project got started and the problems that we face today that this project solves, but I'm going to explain that a little bit in the video also. So what am I talking about here today? Well, like I said, Facebook poses an interesting risk. Facebook's metaverse is going to pose terrifying dangers. And what do they mean by this? Well, they say that possibly these avatars could be hacked and you could be interacting with cyber criminals instead of people that you know and trust. And honestly, Facebook and Google, they already have that happening on their websites now. It's just in the form of, people that take my name and likeness and try to give you to send them money. So you can see people using my likeness underneath the video already. So I already see that being an issue. They also talk about how it could blend reality in such a way that we don't even know what is the real world and what's the metaverse. And I think that's been something that's been in people's heads for a long time, kind of like the Matrix, but I think we're still far away from that. But I still say that there's something that's very similar to this that you don't even realize is happening. And that is Web 2 taking over and the people that are making money off of Web 2. And we don't even think about how it influences us on a daily basis. What do I mean by this? Well, the Google is controlling the world in a way that a lot of people don't understand. So Google does 3.5 billion searches per day. And this is actually on Yahoo that I had to find this out. I tried Googling it and it didn't show up. So I had to search for it on Yahoo. And then after I searched for it on Yahoo, then of course it shows up in Google, but it's like they didn't want me to know. It's kind of a conspiracy theorist moment for me, but it's like they didn't really want me to know how powerful they are. And people have talked about this before, that Google actually can affect elections. Just one example of the power that they hold. And you can see that, a couple trillion searches a year, they do hold a lot of power, which is where Web3 comes in, and a decentralized web search engine could be really beneficial to people. So we're going to talk about that here today. And the crypto that we're talking about is actually SHIB AI. And at this point, I just want you to listen to some of the problems with Web 2 and Google and how Web 3 could solve this. Because at this point, they don't even have a crypto yet. They're going to do a white list and then they're going to airdrop 70% of their tokens. So there's no big sell at the end of this. I just want you to learn more about it and then check out the website underneath the video. Now, Cyber is a new partner of the channel. I just want to be clear on that, but again, there's no big sell on this. I just want you to learn more about this and check out their website underneath the video. But you can see centralized searches don't let agents know why they get certain results or their order. Users perceive the results from Google as truth. So if you search for something and you see the top link, oh, that must be the place that you have to go. So I've seen that before too. Like I said, I couldn't find results and I just thought maybe they're not actually out there. Maybe there's nowhere to find out how many people actually search on Google, but then I just went to Yahoo and I could figure it out. When receiving results from a query, the agent doesn't know what different results another agent might provide. Like I said, I didn't know to go search on Yahoo, but it found it right away. This leads to a polarization of opinion in politics, even social challenges. Finally, a centralized search engine has a different mechanism for user capitalization. Existing search engines have a small circle of beneficiaries, basically the shareholders of Google, yet billions of users. And the thing is, not even all the shareholders get benefit. If we're talking about things that aren't monetary. Like, sure, they make money from ads. Google makes money from ads, and that benefits shareholders. But how about if they're doing anything a little bit shadier, like moving certain websites up the queue to help maybe someone on the inside of Google? I know that this is all a little bit conspiratorial, if that's a word, but it's really true that you don't benefit from them manipulating the search engine. This increases the likelihood that users will receive results not advantageous for themselves, but the beneficiaries. So that's why we're talking about CyberAI. They're one of the projects that's trying to solve this. Now, this is a page on their GitHub, and I will link this underneath the video too. This is basically their white paper. And you can see that it is actually pretty dense. And I'll be honest, a lot of this is over my head. The mechanics of how this works, because I'm not a computer engineer. But you can see the problem that arises with centralized entities such as Google. So what we've had here is Bitcoin decentralizes finance, right? Ethereum decentralizes finance. Those are going to take power away from banks, away from large corporations. And then the Metaverse decentralizes some of the major social media players. And then this is going to decentralize the web. You can see how it's going to work a little bit here and how it lays out. This is the content oracle. We represent a content oracle as a directed weighted knowledge graph where the vertex is a particle and the edge is a cyberlink. So this sounds a little bit confusing already, but you can see how it's laid out actually over here. So this is on CyberAI's website, and this is the oracle. So you can see the particles, you can see the neurons, cyberlinks, and what they have is all these little pieces of information. So these are actually similar to URLs. This is the particle. Particle is a format for content identification of data. Essentially, content addresses are Web3 links instead of using the location on the server. So instead of this, you actually see this. So you can see how all these different particles are put together. Now, how do you actually take part in this? Well, like I said, you can get the airdrop tokens. You can receive them. That's kind of in the future. Then you can also stake those tokens. So you'll be able to stake. After you stake, you can get the ability to make future income by content labeling, voting, those types of things. The airdrop tokens are going to go to Ethereum holders, and they need 100,000 commits. So again, be on the lookout for that on their website, and you can kind of see how Cyber is compared to something like Google. Cyber is a protocol compared to a company. The protocol stack is Web3. It's going to be open, so you can actually see why you're getting certain results. Consensus is not US law, but it's Tendermint, hybrid. The knowledge is public. You're going to use cyberlinks instead of hyperlinks. One thing that I really like is that the ranking is Sybil resistant. So what is Sybil? It's an attack of the security on an online system where one person tries to take over the network by creating multiple accounts, nodes, or computers. In a simple version is when one person creates multiple social media accounts. Now, like I said earlier, I've been the victim of this with people trying to take my likeness and scam people with it. So they do have a Twitter page, but it's actually Cyber Congress. So you can actually see the cyber devs already have about 2,600 followers, including a company that I work with regularly, Unstoppable Domains. So you can go follow them. They talk about the changing of cyber, and they give good links where you can learn more about this project. They have 2 phases of the rollout, similar to Polkadot and Kusama. On the 5th of November, the community launched on the Bostrom network, which is a fully functional computer that acts as a bootloader for superintelligence. So it's like Kusama is to Polkadot. After testing the system in the wild, we will launch Cyber. Now, of course, you always have to do your own research. I can't tell you what to buy or sell or what cryptos to get in. All I can tell you is what I see in the market and the opportunities I see. And I think this is a problem that many people just don't realize, because we think of Google as such a benefit to society, but eventually those benefits turn into frustrations with the centralized authority of Google. And we've already seen that with Facebook, right? At the beginning, everyone loved being connected to everyone. But when there are better opportunities that arise, or when there's just enough that goes wrong where these entities are taking too much power away from us and capitalizing too much on us, then we take the power back for ourselves, which is where I think these decentralized webs or Web3 can do so well. So definitely check out the link down below to CyberAI, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.